Howdy, I'm Peter,
And I'm Kipney.
and in this episode, we're going to talk about Texas.
And everyone in Texas now unsubscribes.
Yeah, my Texas is really bad.
You didn't even say it was the this and that chat.
Welcome to the This and That Chat.
Wow. What a mess.
Listen, we took some time off.
What a mess.
What a
like
mess.
rice and mangoes.
Oh, we got to talk about rice and mangoes.
So first, let's give context, right? Why is a mess considered rice and mangoes in Spanish?
Un arroz con mango.
What does that mean?
It just means that something that doesn't go together makes absolutely no sense together and is now happening in front of you, and you have to deal with it.
Huh. I feel like that is not an accurate description.
You think Google has a
Wait,
description of arroz
do you want
con
to call your
mango?
parents live on the this and that chat?
No. My dad would just hang up.
I think that he would be really funny because he wouldn't really believe that he's live on the this and that chat.
I think I need to prepare. I think I can get him on, but I'd have to prepare him.
That's the whole point. I think not preparing him, he would be like his natural self. He'd try to be really, really funny, and people would get an actual authentic look at what he is. Or you can call your mom. Your mom would be a good sport. And you could say, Mom, we're live on the this and that chat, and we just want to ask you, what does this phrase mean?
No, I'm gonna I'm gonna pass on that one. Plus, they're in St. Augustine. Remember, they're
right.
away
They're
this
on
weekend.
vacation. Okay. All right. They get a pass. But I bet you anything, if they
I'm
hear
gonna
this
prepare them.
episode,
No,
so you know, I did try to get them on. So
I'm going to prepare them. I'm
all
gonna
right.
prepare them.
Well, so what does it mean?
Arroz. Oh, hold on. I love that we have this Walmart thing.
Okay. Are you looking at that too?
Yeah, they just.
I'm sorry. We just got an alert on our phones that said someone was at our door. We are not expecting anyone on our door.
No, but we ordered the last night
No,
at
this
midnight.
is insane. Insane.
Last night at midnight, I ordered some supplies for work, just so that I can make sure that I don't run out. Not expecting it to come today.
There's literally a man with Walmart bags, just like regular plastic bags, delivering to our front door. Oh, there he is. Look at that. That's just so that it records him.
That's awesome. Hold on. Arroz con mango. Oh, look. Wait a second. What the heck? It says arroz con mango recipe.
Oh, wow. But you should have put saying.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Though its literal meaning in Spanish is rice with mango.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. We've got to pause. He's waiting for us at the front door. Sorry, folks. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
That was completely unscripted.
Of
But
course.
that's what you get with us.
Exactly. And this is just so people can see it. Like, we didn't want you to hear us talking to the Walmart guy. Are you okay?
No, I'm joking.
Get some water.
Okay. It says, though its literal meaning is Spanish for rice and mango,
Okay.
it is meant to be used in a less tasteful way. It is typically used in Cuban slang to mean a sticky situation, a mess, or a downright cluster.
Duck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. It's
Look,
called
and then-
a cluster foxtrot.
Okay, look, and then they have a sentence. It's in Spanish, but it's hilarious.
Okay.
Anoche hubo una gran pelea en el bar. Era un arroz con mango.
Translated, it's not as funny.
No.
So let's pause for a minute there, right? Because I've heard this saying for years and years and years, right? And yeah, you can kind of get it. It's like it's a messy situation. That's how I would have described it, a messy situation, right? Mm-hmm. But in our travels, because we've been away, right? And everything, we went to a Thai restaurant where our friends insisted that we had to try their dessert of
Arroz con mango.
yes, sticky rice and mango. Anybody
Now-
who's had that before will know exactly what we're talking about. And what is it? Sticky rice.
And
A
mango.
sticky situation.
Now, here's the crazy part. Their insistence in us trying this was to the point of us having it before we ate anything else. It
Yeah.
was like, bring it out now.
Yes,
So that
we
if
broke
there's-
all the rules. We felt like we were kids again. I don't know.
It was weird. The plate came. We looked at it.
With an orchid flower on it.
Yeah. They put
Okay.
orchids on everything in that restaurant though.
I guess they do.
But we looked at this plate, and it's literally just a little ball of rice with mango slices on top.
And you know what? You could tell the rice had something in it. Okay. And I internally was having a great struggle over how do I taste this? I even said, let's just order 3 desserts instead of 4 in case
But our
you
friend-
don't like it. But I meant I don't like it.
But
okay.
our friend was like, no, we'll order 4. Whoever doesn't eat it, I'll eat it.
Okay, so I just went for it. When they brought me mine, I was like, let me just get this over with. Let me take a spoonful, and then I'll just be like, yeah, it's not for me. And the moment it goes into your mouth, you don't understand what's happening.
No, you don't. That's the problem. You don't understand. Your mouth,
Your brain is
your
telling
brain,
you this
yeah,
is not.
your
this
brain
does not go
is
together.
telling you you're an idiot. But your mouth was like,
More.
I can't put enough of this in my mouth.
More.
That's what she said.
Oh my-
Sorry.
well,
Sorry.
it's better than I was gonna say. It's
Anyways,
like
it's-
my tongue made a baby with the sunrise.
Oh boy. This is how we
Let's
start
delete
this
that
episode.
part.
We're only 7 minutes in, and this is where we're at.
Okay. Whoa. But yeah, like explosions, unicorns.
Deliciousness. Wow.
I feel like there was a light shining on me and like heavenly chorus singing.
No. Incredible. Well, we got back home.
Now,
I think before we got back home, you were already looking for a restaurant.
and I found it.
And you found one.
And we've got to go try it to
We do.
see if their dessert,
Matches?
yes, if it's any justice. It would be so disappointing if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But if it is, oh, holy night. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway,
So
to
we're-
anyone who's had it, maybe you feel like we're overhyping it. But to
But
us,
it was
who
the
for
first
the first time,
Yeah, first time.
like, wow. And how do you get mango to be so perfect?
It was amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. So, okay. So now
What do
we
we
gave it away. We
What did
didn't
we
even
give
go
away?
in chronological order, but
That was the last thing we did. It was the last
oh
meal
my
before
gosh,
we left.
it was. You're right.
But so much happened even though after that.
that is true. Oh my gosh.
So let's rewind.
yes.
and
let's
we will
start at the
start-
very beginning.
So
I'm gonna
last
start, and then you jump in because there's something I want to start off by saying.
Okay.
So from last week's teeny tiny episode,
Itty bitty
you
episode.
guys know that I was away visiting my family, and that was just a me and Nikki trip because unfortunately you can't take that time off. But it was absolutely spectacular. I don't know what it is about being. I don't know if it's about being in the woods, okay, or what is it. But the pace of life at my parents is so slow that you lose track of time. You know, there's not like a schedule where I guess maybe if they did have a schedule where they worked and all that stuff, maybe you'd have some sense of it. But it's just like get up early in the morning, have breakfast, baby time, pretty much all day, dinner, movies, repeat.
20,
You know?
20 on blackjack.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I'm going to get to that. But it was so amazing just to be able to really like soak in my 2 nieces and my nephew, and just like I literally was on the floor with them. Every time they'd come over, I was on the floor. Let's play. Okay. It was so much fun. And then just being able to spend time with my parents and everybody. It was great. And right before the night that I'm leaving, literally the night before I leave, it's my brother's birthday. Okay. And he came over. We did like a big meal, everything. We had sprinkle cake. That's a thing that I think only our family understands. It's
well,
a
we
cake.
talked about it in the birthday episode.
Oh my gosh, what did I say about that? Did I say I wanted sprinkle cake?
No, that you just talked about how the birthday song and sprinkle cake was a birthday
I
thing.
remember now. So I got to have sprinkle cake after God knows how many years. And it tasted exactly like my childhood. That's so crazy. But then we ended up having a blackjack game for my brother. I think the idea was maybe he wins it and it's a nice birthday gift for him. Everybody, it was a $10 buy-in with two $5 buy-ins allowed right after, right? But they have rules, like you play for an hour and then you set the timer for 30 minutes. In those 30 minutes, you cannot buy back in. It's just play until the clock runs out or until somebody wins, right? So I was like, okay, I'm throwing in $10 there. What's $10, right? And you can tell pretty early on that my sister, Leah, is gonna win. Okay, she's got stacks. Everybody else is betting, to me, way too aggressively. I don't like to play like that, right? I would bet 2 at a time. That's what I was doing. 2 at a time, 2 back, and slowly building up my pile there. And then right towards the end, my mom, she decides to go. She was the second highest chip leader, I guess. She decides to go all in. She loses everything. I knew she was tired and she was trying to go home, right? And so who wins it is, she lost everything. So now it's just me and my sister left on the table. Everybody's around us. Everybody knows it's just a matter of time. I'm slow bleeding. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to play the slow bleed game or do I want to just give it to her?
The jugular.
Just give it to her. Let me just go do this dramatic all-in situation. She wins. It's over. Whatever, right? I decide I'm going to play a couple rounds. Like, I really, really can win this game, right? And then I'm going to go all in and just let her win, right? And those 2 rounds, I just keep winning because now I'm betting 4 chips, right? That's what I felt the number the universe was giving me was 4. So I'm just playing 4. And as we progress, I'm like, let me do 1 more round. And all of a sudden, I find myself like at the same amount of chips that my sister has. And I'm like, I have an actual shot here. And then what happened afterwards, somebody described it as a phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay. I win the whole game. 9 players, 4 people did buybacks. It was a lot of money.
So you actually made money on your trip.
I did. I did. That was so crazy. My first and only game I've ever won. I think I will never win again, but it was nice. So it was a long story. That's not the story I wanted to say, though. Okay. So I get home, right? And the very next day, you and I are flying out to Texas to see our friends. Mm-hmm. So I've never done back-to-back trips like this. I didn't realize how exhausted I would feel from, we got delayed on our trip back. So we got home a whole lot later. I had a migraine. It was just terrible, right? The next day, I'm prepping, trying to get little bits and things done around, just to get like our stuff ready to go. And then you get home. And it is 4:00 when we leave the house to go to the airport. Our flight doesn't leave till 8. Okay. But you had this idea of, we're just going to make a date out of it. We're going to find a little spot. We're going to talk. We're going to eat.
We stopped. We had lunch.
Yeah, but you had a whole idea for us at the airport.
Right.
And I was like, Sure, that's fine. You know, it's a different kind of date. I'm game, right? So we arrive at the airport 4 hours before our flight leaves, right? But the moment we pull in to the airport, as we're getting ready to unload our stuff, we get an alert that says your flight has been delayed till 10 p.m. So now we have arrived 6 hours before our flight leaves. At that moment, we had to make a quick decision. Do we go back home or do we stay? But you're still optimistic, you. And you're like, hey, we're just going to make a date out of it. It's fine. I'm like, sure, I'm game. I was excited. We're going on vacation together to Texas. We've never been there. And when we get inside, TSA was not at all what we had been told it was going to be. Lines and hours of waiting. No, we went straight through.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, we're straight through. Okay. And then when we get inside, it's just, let's find a seat and sit down, right? And when we sit down, I am assaulted by how hot this airport is. Like disgusting hot. I know it's 100 degrees outside, but it doesn't need to be 100 degrees inside the airport.
It wasn't 100, but yes, it was hot.
For you to be hot?
It was no.
Everybody knows. You've told everybody on the chat.
Yes, it was hot.
It was hot. So now 6 hours seems like a whole day that we're going to be waiting. It like lost its shine so fast. So fast. And then we end up getting pushed.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
We end up getting boarded
at 11:45.
Yeah. At night. We get on the plane, and when we sit, that we're getting ready to go, a lightning storm that looked like Thor, the god of thunder, was coming down from the heavens, dropping all around us, started to happen.
I wish someone could have had video of what was. I feel like there were lightning bolts that were hitting next to the plane.
Yeah, it was. It ended up delaying us, I think, another half hour. Mm-hmm. So it was like 12:15, and then the
PA system comes on.
Yeah, the PA system comes on, and the crew says, unfortunately, because of the last delay, our crew has become illegal to fly. I guess they have time limits.
Yeah, it would be nice for us to know this.
Yeah. And the flight time that was remaining was not going to give them enough time to be able to fly. So they sent us home.
They said, kindly get off the plane.
They said, your flight has been rescheduled. We don't know what time.
It's not canceled.
Yeah, it's not canceled. It's been rescheduled till tomorrow. We don't know at what time. We'll let you know. Just go outside and wait for us. So we have to get all of our stuff, get off of the plane.
And mind you, I had already made myself comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, we were ready to go sleep for a couple hours. And so
I thought there was going to be a fight.
Yeah. Well, when we got out there, people are so rude.
Yeah. And I know you're mad.
It's not the crew's fault.
It's not. Well, I mean, even if it's the crew's fault, I just feel like you need to have some decorum.
Listen, it was nasty weather. It was raining. Things got pushed. Our crew got changed a couple times trying to make this thing happen. I would truly have to say that American Airlines really tried to make the flight happen. I think I'm sure they lost money.
I'm sure
not having the plane go out that night, but
I'm glad we didn't go out that night.
Glad
we would have been struck by lightning on takeoff.
It was bad. It was horrible. So people were just shouting and hooting and hollering, and it was nasty. It was nasty. It was nasty. And then there were some people that were like, all right, let's go find a corner to go to sleep.
That family was so funny. They were like, hurry, grab that corner before somebody else takes it.
Go grab that corner over there.
I was like, oh my gosh.
So listen, the situation sucked. No question about it.
Thankfully, though, we could go back home.
Yeah. So we called Nikki and we're like, hey, hon, so we're not going out tonight. You got to come pick us up. So
which was very scary because she then had to drive on the highway
in that rain,
in that storm.
Yeah, it was so bad.
But we did it because they told us that the flight wouldn't be leaving till 10 a.m.
Yeah.
If it had been leaving at 5 or 6, maybe we would have stayed.
No way. I would have still gone home.
Really?
A shower.
Oh, we did need a shower.
Yeah.
We did. Oh my gosh. That night was just like terrible. I was like, I hope this is not setting the mood for what our trip is going to be like.
No. Anyways, so next morning we wake up early. We go and we grab some breakfast. Head back up there. Mm-hmm. We get to the airport.
Delayed 2 more hours.
We got delayed again.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
When
But,
we finally took off,
we
though,
finally
it was
take
like,
we
yes.
finally take off. And I think because we were so exhausted, I don't remember falling asleep. But I do remember getting woken up by the PA saying, flight crew, get ready for our landing here in San Antonio. And I was like, what? What just happened? Like, what?
I'm so confused by the whole time change thing, though.
Okay, hold on. I got to tell the story.
Yeah, because I'm still confused.
Okay, so we were keeping our friends up to date because they were picking us up. We were staying with them. And kept me as sending updates by text and back and forth. And when we're finally taking off, okay, the flight is 3 hours long, right? We're leaving from Miami at 11 a.m., right?
But it's really 2 hours long, right?
No, it's 3 hours long.
I don't think it's
You're still
3
confused.
hours.
Listen,
I am.
It's a 3-hour flight. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have actually good information to give you about why I think I'm right.
Okay, but hold on.
Okay.
So it's a 3-hour flight to San Antonio, right? So you let our friends know, hey, we're finally taking off, and you say, see you in 2 hours. And I'm like, 3 hours. And you're like, no, because they're an hour earlier over there. And I'm like, yeah, but the flight still takes 3 hours. And you were so confused about understanding that it's like daylight savings time.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
It just falls back, but
Okay,
the
but
hours still exist.
Exactly.
So
the
you're
hours,
just redoing an hour.
True. But my question is this. When the clock moves forward an hour, okay, the day does not have 25 hours. It still has 24 hours, even though it moved forward an hour.
In numbers.
But that's what I'm saying. So I think the flight is still 2 hours, but it looks like 3 hours because of the time change.
When you were flying from Miami
Yeah.
to San Antonio, I
Yeah.
can't believe we're doing this again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't understand it. I'll just say I understand even though I don't
From
really.
Miami to San Antonio, we leave here at 11, right? It's a 3-hour flight. If there was no time change, we would have landed in San Antonio at 2 p.m.
We did.
No, we landed at 1 p.m.
Okay.
because the hour dropped back.
Right.
But when we landed
Yeah.
in Miami,
Yeah.
it was 2 p.m.
It moved forward.
No.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. Let's not do this because I'm not going to get it. I'm so
Anyways,
confused.
so we land, right? Our friends pick us up. We haven't
Mind you.
seen them in years.
4 years. We
yeah.
finally.
Yeah, we came to a number.
Yes, we did agree that it was 4 years since the last time we saw them.
So we haven't seen them in 4 years. And
they're a military family.
Mm-hmm.
He's now retired, but so they moved every few years.
right. And the last place that they were in was Hawaii, which we would have loved to have gone to visit.
We
but
were going to, and then the pandemic happened.
Yep,
Remember we were going in 2020?
Yep, everything was just ruined for us.
Mm-hmm.
So no Hawaii for us. But after they moved to San Antonio, then we were able to, get ourselves finally squared off to go and see them, and that's what we just did. So we were so excited to see them, and the first thing that we want to do is get some lunch because we are famished, right?
But I'm green as a pea because I'm air sick, car sick. I can't ride in the back of cars.
Backseat.
I can't. I can't. I get so sick. So I'm already feeling so nauseous from the flight. Because it was just, I think the night before, all the waiting and all the stuff, I was just not feeling great. I get into the back of their car. I'm feeling so green. And all I can think about is how embarrassing that I'm going to have to pull over here. And I told them, if I tell you pull over because I need to vomit. Okay.
And my buddy.
Trust him to always be prepared for anything.
He's prepared for anything. Pulls out a vomit bag.
A legitimate one from the hospital.
A legitimate rolled up vomit bag.
And he's like, here you go.
He's like, here you go, just in case you need it. And we're like, where did you pull that from? Like, what the heck?
Oh my gosh.
What the hell?
But there were 3 things that we knew we wanted to do while we were in Texas, eating wise.
Yes. 1.
Tex-Mex.
2.
Authentic Tex-Mex. Barbecue.
3.
And we needed a Texas steak.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
A big one.
So they decided to take us to Tex-Mex.
Yes.
I was so worried that we were going to get there and I was going to be so nauseous and sick that I was not going to be able to eat. But literally the moment we walked in.
That smell.
Oh my
goodness.
Gosh.
So good.
I wish we could tell people what restaurant we went to, but I don't even remember the name.
The culebrita? I forgot.
Really? I know it was in
It was the Roadrunner.
Oh, there was a Roadrunner.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we didn't even talk about that.
Oh,
so
that's a sign from the universe we had to eat there.
So in the little city that we drove into,
that they called Hill Country.
Well, no,
I don't know.
Just outside of Hill Country.
Okay, but I don't know
that
if Hill Country's a place or just a state of mind.
I think it's a state of mind.
Okay, I think
so
too.
That city has all of their signs have a little Roadrunner that sits at the top. So we were like, my goodness, even in Texas, I'm getting chased by the Roadrunners.
Wait, but do they have Roadrunners there?
Yeah.
That's so sad that I didn't get to see one. But yes, this restaurant had a giant Roadrunner as you walk inside. So maybe anybody in the San Antonio area would know what restaurant we're talking about. Wow. Service,
delicious.
amazing.
Yes.
And we literally, again, broke all the rules. We ordered dessert with our food.
Yeah, so we had
a little mix of everything.
Yeah, we had churro balls, right? We had tres leche dessert. Then at the same time we had cheese dip. We had salsa.
Queso.
Yes. We had salsa with chips. Then we also had our meals. What else did we bring to the table? There was something else. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, the waiter must have thought that we were absolutely insane.
We had some sort of a bean soup that they brought us.
Oh, the bean soup? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think those are actually just beans.
I don't know. It was a bean soup. And there was something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Anyways, we ate everything.
I know.
Everything. It was gluttonous.
But it was
so good.
So amazing. So amazing.
So good.
What a great introduction to the cuisine, right?
So we finish up there and we take a little side trip into the hill country to be able to drive around.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm just like
yeah.
So one thing that was very surprising to me, I feel, was that I felt like I was sort of starstruck, but there were no stars. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God. You see me drinking water. Keep talking.
Okay, but do you understand what I mean? Starstruck, even though there aren't any celebrities around?
I do.
Okay, because...
I do. We have a couple pictures that show that.
Yes, because I feel like, there's just ways that I guess people from a place get painted. What's the word I'm looking for?
People from a place get painted.
Maybe cliches of Texas or something. I feel like people who come to Florida, right? They think that things look a certain way, and maybe they come here and they're like, wow, this is exactly how I imagined it, or not, right? Anybody who's never been to Florida and wants to know what Florida's like, it's a swamp. That's all you need to know. It's a hot, muggy swamp.
Muggy
Okay?
swamp.
That's it. That's it. Okay? There's nothing to see here, honestly.
There is.
Where?
You have
in
to
North Florida.
No, you have to want. You can go out to the Everglades.
Well, what? To visit the swamp.
Yes, but you can go look at
I
the
guess.
swamp.
Okay. Anyway. But over there, I'm seeing
And the Keys.
the oversized trucks. That's exactly
Okay,
what
hold
I've
on.
imagined.
So hold on. Here's something about the trucks. Every truck is a Texas edition.
Texas edition?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they either had a little Texas flag, or they had the,
for
the,
sure.
the
Like
shape
almost
of the
everybody's
Texas,
flying
or
a
it
Texas
said
flag.
Texas edition. Yeah,
And
they're all
then
big and tall.
They took us
The
to
Lone Star edition.
Yes. They took us to a place, I guess that is another place I don't remember the name of. In the Carolinas or in the South, I guess, in the East Coast, the store that people know is Cabela's.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes to Cabela's to get their stuff. Here in Texas, there was a store that they took us to that apparently every Texan knows the store, right? Because that's where you get your
boots.
genuine boots.
Yep,
all right?
and your hats.
So I got to try on some Texas boots.
Listen, the fact that this is not recorded on video
Oh my God.
is a shame.
Listen.
Is a shame.
I had to hold on to a pole while somebody tugged on the boots so that I could get them on.
It's criminal that this is not recorded.
And then I don't know what it is that he called it, that thing that you stick your foot in.
Oh yeah, you
Someone will know what that is.
You have to slam your.
You have to slam your
bottom of
heel in
boot.
it so you can pull your thing out. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see the gentlemen walking around with their cowboy hats, grabbing their hats on top like this and just going,
Howdy,
ma'am. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Say that again.
So there's that was one of the things like guys or in cowboy boots, jeans,
And they're
a big old belt buckle,
Yes.
and a cowboy hat. Even our friend who was like he came out of the room dressed up, ready to go when we went to go get barbecue. And I was like, well, how to do, sir? I was like,
I feel like you even get a little twang when you wear that stuff.
Yeah, I was like, look at you looking all Texas. And he's like, well, I am Texas.
But it was, I felt a little just starstruck with it. And then we didn't get to go see the actual desert in Texas. Okay. But we did see some, which was very surprising to me because first, like I noticed it was like full of live oak trees. So many I don't think I've ever seen so many live oaks in one place. Okay, yes. And then when he took us driving out wherever we drove, I did see the landscape change. You know, and so it was more desert type, I guess. Which and then that was the other thing. The weather there was something unlike anything I've ever experienced.
It was kind of weird. I work out in the sun. So
I want to hear your experience
I'm
with
in
that.
the sun all day long, right? And it's hot and muggy and it just kind of sucks. Right?
I told you guys, the swamp.
Yeah, it's a swamp, right? But in Texas, it was hotter in degrees. But I wasn't sweating up a storm. The 4 days that we were there,
You were correct about that.
I never ever sweat through my shirt.
Wow, I just realized that right now.
I never felt like that.
So let me just put in a little side note here that here in Florida, okay, let's talk South Florida because I don't know if North Florida experiences the same thing we do. But there, you stand out in the sun for 15 minutes.
You don't even need
maybe
to be
less
in the
than
sun.
that. And you can feel the drop of sweat from your scalp run all the way down your back. Like you can feel it traveling down your body. That's how much water you're losing.
In Florida, you can sweat in the shade.
At night.
Right. At night. In Texas, you could be out in the sun.
You perspire in Texas. I feel like that's because that could feel like a little
bit.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. There was no sweat beads running down my face.
And it was hot. You looked for shade, but like you would step out from the sun into the shade and it was like 15 or 20 degrees cooler.
But when we went to visit them in Virginia, when they lived in Virginia, I remember there was a similar heat. When we would get, because we went in July, it was like in the middle of summer, right?
When we went to the main park in front of the Congress.
Yes. Okay. And I remember every time we would get under the trees, so cool. You step out. Okay. But here in Texas, there's two things that I noticed that were different, right? One, I feel like the sun stung a little bit. There was like a sting to the sun that I have not felt. You know when's the only time I have felt this? When we're on a cruise in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, yeah.
The way that the sun hits you, it stings, right? And then the second thing that I've never experienced before is it seemed to me like my throat would feel parched very often throughout the day, that I would swallow and I felt like I need water now. And I'm very bad about drinking water. So the fact that I could down a whole bottle of water, there was like an incredible thirst that just was like not quenched for very long. I've never felt that before. Not even here. Do you feel that?
No.
So that was different. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that or not, or if it was just a personal experience.
Yeah, it was definitely different. It felt completely different. So anyway, so after we went to the store, and we did our boot trying on,
and taking off.
So we head back to their house, and we haven't been to this house. Obviously, we haven't been to Texas, and so they were kind of showing us around, and my buddy's like, "Hey, look, I want to show you something here in the back." And they have like a wooded area in the back, and then there's like trails and some walkways and some stuff that's on the backside, a bike path. It was really cool. So he's like, "Yeah, I just want to show you something out here real quick." 5 miles later.
How did you not say anything?
Because we were looking at stuff, and we just ended up just going and going and going.
That's what you call getting lost together.
Yes, but here's the thing, right? I'm not dressed to go.
Were you even wearing your shoes?
Oh yeah, I had my shoes on. I had my shoes on, but they're my nice shoes. They weren't.
Yeah, they're not your tennis shoes.
They're not my tennis shoes, right? But so we're hiking through the woods. Right, we're going through, and as we're walking through, I'm keeping pace with him. I'm trying to, stay with him, and all of a sudden, there's like 15 deer all around us, like little baby deers and majestic horned deer. That was just absolutely incredible, blowing away. Like it was like I couldn't believe it. I took some video. And it was incredible. It was just incredible to just like run into that. And we ran into them a few times, as we kind of walked through. And we were able to kind of like walk through like a riverbed that's, it looks like it's dry, right? But the water is actually running underneath the ground. So it's a little bit of a different type of river. It's not like on top. So
what?
Okay, so Paul was telling us that it's.
I know, but that's doesn't that happen everywhere?
Well, no, because he was saying that there was, there's like it floods really easy. So there's like a underlying. I'm probably explaining it wrong. He's gonna listen to this and be like, no, not that. But there's water that was running underneath the ground.
Okay, but I thought that was everywhere.
Yes,
I thought that's how rivers worked.
Well, some rivers you look at them and it's water that sits on the top.
But eventually there's water that sits on top of that one, no?
Sometimes. He says not very often.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's become more of a path that you kind of can ride through or bike through, and you could see like all the markings of the bikes hitting the rocks and stuff like that as we went through all that space. But it was really cool to be able to go through that entire space, and then we finally made it back. We made it back to the house, and
It's so wonderful, I feel, to see them again at this point in our lives, because I feel like we are experiencing kind of the same things, right? We both have, a son and a daughter. Our kids, I feel like during their most impressionable years, grew up together, right? And all 4 kids are a year apart. So they all are like this little, I don't know, little group, right? And so we went through the parenting, the teenage years, like all the stuff, right? And now here we are with kids in college, and it's just us now, right? And it's so nice to be able to share that with them, to experience that with them, right? She and I both went back to school, so we're both experiencing this as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it's so cool, like, for you to have your person like that.
And it was so refreshing because we get along so well.
Well, I feel like it's like somebody hit pause.
Yep.
And then we got together again, and you just hit play, and exactly.
Yeah, and it was such a great time, and the girls got time to spend together and enjoy
and talk. Like, we talked one day where the sun went down and the lights were never turned on. You guys walked in, and it was like we were sitting in darkness talking.
Yep.
We didn't even notice it. We were just talking.
It was just in darkness. And then we went out and we grabbed a beer and smoked a cigar, and we were talking and chatting, and when we finally looked at the clock, it was 3 a.m. or something. It was ridiculous. And
for the boys. Yeah.
But it was so much fun because we're able to just, and it's not like we don't talk. It's just, it's different when you're sitting in front of somebody. You share differently, you talk differently, you enjoy the time differently.
Yeah. And I also like that we were unhurried. We knew that there were things we wanted to get to do and see, but it's kind of like, when we get there,
Right. Well, it's a
at
saying,
our own pace.
It's a saying that actually that was born out of our group of 4, where we have a plan, and the plan is to deviate from that plan. That's all it's for. It's for us to do just whatever comes. Because the next day we wanted to go to the Alamo,
which I near about died. Okay. That's where we were going to go.
Yeah, it was so cool to be able to go and see this history. And, we ended up going there and really getting to dive deep into the understanding of the Alamo. And it was, the thing that got me the most was that the Alamo that everybody knows is actually something that happened after the fight at the Alamo. So that the facade of the building, that little arch that sits over top that everybody's, that's the Alamo, that actually came after all the fighting and all that stuff, because it just never existed. And there was just so much history and so much stuff that came from it. It was so cool. And we got to see some crazy oak trees that were like 120 years old, that were so big that their branches were like laying on the ground.
Yeah, I thought it was a broken branch and it's a tree
but
growing.
It's just the way that it grew.
Yeah.
But
it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful, and just walking around, like we did river walk. I mean, anybody who lives in the area or has visited knows that. I mean, I feel like it was just, I feel like we didn't even really look at everything in Riverwalk. I feel like we went there with a purpose. We're
Right.
going somewhere,
Right.
and we just walk through.
And
it.
I don't think you would be able to finish
No.
in the time. I think that's just something that you experience it little by little
Exactly.
as you go and as whatever.
And we had talked about maybe doing the little boat
The
ride.
boat
And
tour.
it was like, yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about doing a ghost tour. Maybe we'll do that,
Yeah. But one
So-
thing that we did end up doing, so we're walking through Riverwalk, and we're going to cross through this one building that gave us a straight shot to the Alamo. And when we walk in, the Texas lawmen are all piled up on a corner.
Which
Looks
I wonder
looked like
if
they were
Texans
probably
just
taking a
call
break.
them cops.
Yeah. Right? So you got these guys, they're in full uniform with their
That's the thing. They're in uniform, but they're wearing cowboy
right,
hats.
that's what I'm saying. That's their uniform though. So they're in full uniform with these cowboy hats on, and Ketmia is like, I want a picture. So she walks up to these guys and is like, hey, can I get a picture with you guys? And they were more than happy to oblige. They were the celebrities.
They were and I guess maybe other people asked them that. I was
Well,
like,
somebody
listen,
asked after we left.
I wonder if they stood there and they were like, dang, let's do it. But listen, I was like, I've never seen, I told them, the guy who I spoke to, I told him that. I've never seen lawmen with cowboy hats before. Can I take a picture with you guys, please?
And they obliged.
They did. And we'll post that
No,
picture.
and it was funny because even one of the guys gave his phone to the guy who was taking the picture so he can have a picture with us too.
Oh, is that? Oh my gosh! And then there
That
was
was
this
the third
really
phone.
super sweet guy who offered, "Hey, I'll take everybody's picture because I wanted it on my phone. Our friends wanted it on theirs, and then I didn't know that the third phone was that guy. I did wonder where did the third phone come from, but that was funny. But
Yeah.
it was so nice, and that was another thing. I was in line at the Alamo Gifts shop, right? Buying a couple little trinkets to bring home. And I've never had an argument with a person about, no, you go first. Oh, no, but you go
No, but
ahead. You were
go
here
ahead.
first.
Please, I insist.
I've never, listen, when we flew back to Miami, on the flight with us, all these people were coming from San Antonio. And there was an older couple that I saw that I felt like wanting to go up to them and telling them, I'm sorry for what you're about to experience coming into Miami. Because
Well, just in
people
the
here
airport,
are known, huh?
Just in the airport, it changes. The moment you get off the plane,
Yeah.
people are rude.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if I've heard that people think that New Yorkers are rude. I don't know if that's have you heard that
Yeah.
before? I wonder if that's true, right? If you would feel like that. I don't know. I've never been to New York, so I don't know. But here, Miami people can be rude.
Yes.
And I think that anybody who tells you differently, you're
Okay,
lying.
well-
Because
well,
if
hold
you
on.
go up to
I don't
if you
know
go to
if-
the southern
I don't
states,
know if rude is the word I would lead with. I would say selfish.
no, rude. I mean, rude just encompasses all of it.
Yeah, I guess.
And so like you go up, I feel like that's the part that always got me when we would go visit like Georgia, the Carolinas, all this place where people are
The
just
moment
like
you cross
talking
the
to
border,
you go to Walmart in any of these places.
the moment you cross the border, you are in a different world. It is the twilight. Florida is the twilight
Who says
zone.
that, by the way?
I don't know.
I
Florida.
don't know who pronounces it like that, but it's
I mean,
Florida.
come on. We have Florida, man.
Yeah.
This is a different place. Anyways, that's for another chat.
That is for another chat. But anyway, it just was so amazing, like to see, just to experience it. We've always wanted to go to Texas. We finally got to go to Texas. And I feel like we didn't even get to experience all of it.
We have to go back. I can't wait to go
for
back.
sure we have to go back. And now this is a retirement place, so we know we're going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
visit different places. And the trip home
Wait,
was
this one.
anything.
Listen, with the Zamoras, there was never
A dull moment.
ever a dull moment.
No.
So you heard about our trip there,
Yes.
and the excitement there.
Yeah.
Well, here
Well,
comes.
excitement. I wouldn't classify that as excitement, but
Well, here's our trip back.
I insist on being at the airport 2 hours beforehand. Okay, because to me, I just like to not have to be in a rush. I like to go through TSA. And I like to just sit and wait for my flight, be ready, not running around. I've got my seat, whatever, right? I feel like other people like to live more dangerously, and they like to show up at the airport an hour beforehand. Thankfully, we were able to get to the airport an hour and a half before our flight left, which was, I was okay with being there an hour and a half before.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think I would have preferred 2 hours, but an hour and a half, I was not willing to compromise further than that.
We had, it's just, San Antonio's a little bit of a smaller airport.
Yeah, we did notice that. That's why it was like an allowance of an hour and a half.
We sat down, we had breakfast with our friends, and
had our last goodbyes and everything. And then when we are getting out of the car to get our stuff, right? Because sadly, we had to take a connecting flight. I don't understand why, but we had to. I was already not looking forward to this. But when we get there, you made a comment about, oh no, you know what you forgot? Right? You were just saying to me that I forgot my hand sanitizer. My hand sanitizer. Which I just looked over at my friend and I was like, oh, you can keep it. You know, obviously, I can't get it back now, right? You can keep it. And then all of a sudden, boom, it just hits me. While we were there, I had mentioned that I had not been able to bring a purse because the flight only allows you one personal item. And your purse has to fit into your backpack, which it didn't. So I only brought a backpack. Okay. She said, why don't you borrow one of my purses? That way you can, you know, carry whatever you need around in there. I was like, excellent idea. I took out my driver's license in case I would get carded at any place that we went to, because sometimes that happens here and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. And that moment, I remember I have my driver's license in her purse, which is sitting in her living room. And I cannot check into TSA.
Good old kept me in her.
And my squirrely brain.
Squirrely brains.
So now there's a mad dash for them to go back to the house.
Thank God that they were only 12 minutes away.
Unreal. Okay. But by this time, we've done a lot of like, what do we do? What do we do? I feel like we've lost some time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting right up to that point where I'm getting like uncomfortable that maybe we're not going to make our flight. The lady at the ticket counter says if it's 30 minutes, what it takes for you to get your ID, you can make your flight. Mm-hmm. So it's like run. Run.
So she had said that there was a possibility for us to be able to make it through TSA and be okay. It would just take a couple extra steps. But she's like, you might and maybe. Those were the words that she kept on using. And we were like, listen, we can't do a might and maybe. We got to know for sure.
She's like, well, I can't tell you for sure. That was enough for me.
That was enough.
That was the thing, I feel like, where we lost time with her, you know, asking, what do we do?
Yeah.
Can we go through it? You know, because my friend could have mailed it and whatever. So
mad dash. Listen, we were following him on the Find My Friends app, and we could see where he was going. We're like, he's 3 minutes out. Oh my goodness. Run.
Well, the thing that had worried me was that when we arrived and they picked us up at the airport, there was an insane amount of traffic. I'm talking about you could see the light turn green and you had not moved. The light turn red. You hadn't even moved. So I was worried, what if he gets into that kind of traffic? Because it was right about the same time we had arrived going home, you know. So, but thankfully, literally, he pulled up, we got the ID, we ran through security, and we literally ran into the plane.
Finished security and walked into the plane with everybody sitting there looking at us.
Yes.
We were
never want to be that person. Okay. And so we made our flight. We fly to
Dallas.
Right. We fly to Dallas to make our connecting flight. And We are so thirsty. We're so hungry that it's like, okay, we technically it said we had an hour and 10 minutes, but we didn't because we got delayed again on that flight because they were doing air landing control or
Whatever
I don't know
it was.
what it was. But now we only have 50 minutes, but 50 minutes, it goes by so fast, especially when you're sitting all the way in the back of the plane and it takes 20 minutes for everybody to get off.
And then we had to go and find the tram, get the tram that would take us to the other side.
Yes.
To take us to the other side. Then we went running to grab food as quickly as we can.
And again,
it was all running.
Now we hear them paging us.
Yeah.
I've
like,
never been paged in my life.
Peter and Katmia, hello, get your butts on the plane. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. So
we make it back on the plane.
Yeah. Again, we were delayed some more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this whole trip was delay after delay.
Well, Fred was out there.
Oh my fucking Fred. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
You went.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oops.
Beep.
Sorry.
Listen, that Fred.
Dang.
Good old Fred. Anyways.
Good old Fred.
So, we finally...
Fred's a hurricane, by the way, just in
Yes.
case anybody thinks that we're bad-mouthing a person named Fred.
So, we finally make it back home. We land in Miami. We get in our car. We drive home.
Mind you, we haven't eaten.
We haven't eaten.
Because I said to you, I can't eat.
Mm-hmm.
You got me a bag of popcorn and 2 drinks.
$30.
Water. Oh my God. This is insane. Someone should regulate prices at the airport. Okay. I got a cranberry juice, a water, and a bag of popcorn. A small snack-sized bag of popcorn. That's what I ate.
Yeah, it was bad.
By the time we get to where we live, everything's closed. There's nothing to eat anymore.
We were done. We weren't going to eat anything.
Nothing. And at that moment...
Oh, my goodness.
What?
We got home. And all I could think about is, I'm going to sleep. I'm so exhausted. But Mike came to visit.
Our son came to visit. No, I know, but it was
he
a quick...
So he had shown up maybe 10 minutes after we got home.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sit down on the table in the kitchen and we're just chatting up a little bit just to kind of, hey, how are you doing?
Some macaroni because they were
some
hungry
macaroni,
too.
whatever. And I'm falling asleep at the table. And we'll end with this. Mike says, "Poor dad." And Ketmia says, "Poor dad. Your dad just can't keep his eyes open. I'm holding mine together with some tape." And that ended our evening.
Yeah.
But we had such a phenomenal time.
Yeah. So I feel like it's been back-to-back stuff that's happened. You know, my trip, then we went to go see our friends. Then Mikey came over for a few days, which is always wonderful, So I feel like now we're like back to our
we're gonna go back to
routine.
a routine. So you start school in about a week. I'm as busy as always.
Yeah, and we saw in the weather app there's a change coming.
It's like 1 degree less.
1 degree less. Fall's coming.
It's still hot.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So that was our adventure.
That's our adventure. Yeah.
I feel like we left out a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, we left so much stuff out. It would be a 5-hour episode.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's our little adventure, and we're glad we were able to share that with you.
We have another adventure coming up in December.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be great.
Yep. A lot of stuff it's almost the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's September. September.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel this is the slingshot part of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I have always referred to that as the slingshot, but I just feel
it's
like
only
that's
4
where
months. 4 months left.
When you get there, all of a sudden it's the end of the year, and you're like, wait, how is it Christmas now?
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. We were able to just share a little bit of our fun and our adventures. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to ask us or like for us to talk about, hit us up on the thisandthatchat.com or the This and That Chat on Instagram. We would love to hear from you. And we are glad that you came back and keep listening to us.
And we'll post some pictures of our trip.
Yep, for sure. Alrighty. That's all we got for today. See you guys next week.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Right. Bye. Goodbye. Bye, y'all.
From Florida.
From Florida.